Unforgiveness is a heavy burden, both emotionally and spiritually. Studies show that harboring resentment increases stress hormones like cortisol, leading to physical ailments such as hypertension. In first century Judea, Jesus addressed this human struggle, teaching that forgiveness is not just a virtue, but a necessity for inner freedom. The chains of bitterness enslave us, but the path to liberation begins with acknowledging their weight. In Matthew 18:21-22, Jesus challenges Peter's question about forgiveness limits with 70 times 7, a metaphor for boundless grace. Historically, Jewish tradition capped forgiveness at 3 times, Amos 1:3. Jesus' response redefines mercy, emphasizing God's infinite patience. This teaching was revolutionary in a culture where honor demanded retaliation. His words invite us to mirror divine compassion in our relationships. Matthew 18:23-35 recounts a servant forgiven a massive debt, 10,000 talents, equivalent to a lifetime's wages, who then refuses to pardon a minor debt owed to him. Jesus contrasts God's mercy with human hypocrisy. Economists note that first-century Judea had severe debt crises, making this parable relatable. The king's judgment underscores a spiritual truth. Unforgiveness nullifies the grace we've received. Modern psychology confirms that unresolved anger activates the brain's amygdala, triggering fight-or-flight responses. In this scene, a Judean man wrestles with resentment after being cheated by a business partner. His clenched fists and furrowed brow mirror studies linking bitterness to decreased mental health. Jesus' parable lingers in his mind, creating tension between human instinct and spiritual conviction. Luke 23:34 captures Jesus forgiving his executioners while nailed to the cross, a moment theologians call the apex of grace. Historical accounts note crucifixion caused excruciating pain, yet Jesus prioritized mercy. This act fulfilled his own teachings, Luke 6:27-28, and demonstrated that forgiveness is possible even in extreme suffering. It challenges us to release grudges regardless of circumstances. Neuroscience reveals that forgiveness reduces activity in the brain's pain networks. The conflicted man, inspired by Jesus' example, kneels in prayer. Symbolically, his chains shatter, a metaphor for emotional liberation. Studies show that rituals, like prayer, activate the prefrontal cortex, aiding emotional regulation. This moment mirrors the psychological and spiritual freedom forgiveness offers. Research indicates face-to-face reconciliation lowers heart rates and boosts oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Here, the man meets his former adversary in a village square. Their tearful embrace reflects Jesus' command in Matthew 5:23-24 to reconcile before worship. Cultural anthropologists note that public forgiveness in collectivist societies, like first-century Judea, restored communal harmony, not just personal peace. A 2023 Harvard study found that communities practicing collective forgiveness report 40% lower conflict rates. This scene shows the reconciled men sharing bread with neighbors, including former rivals. Jesus' teachings disrupted the cycle of retaliation common in agrarian societies. The shared meal symbolizes the early Christian agape feasts, where forgiveness fostered unity across social divides. Colossians 3:13 urges believers to forgive as the Lord forgave you. Early Christian texts like the Didache, 50-70 AD, linked forgiveness to baptismal vows. Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 6:14-15, tied human forgiveness to divine pardon. This principle remains central in modern Christian ethics, with theologians like Miroslav Volf arguing that forgiveness is the heart of the gospel. The video concludes with a transformed community. Psychological studies confirm that forgiveness increases serotonin production, enhancing collective well-being. Children play freely as elders converse, a visual echo of messianic prophecies, Isaiah 11:6. The once divided village now embodies Jesus' vision in John 17:21, that they may all be one. Forgiveness, as taught by Christ, proves to be the foundation of lasting peace.